All right, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video on the channel, man. All right, so I just discussed about the AFC West and my NFL team previews, and now I will be going on to the AFC North. So, from what the guy that requested this video wants to remain unanimous, so I'm gonna request that. So he just wants me to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I'll probably go through that team after I talk about, of course, the two best teams that I think are the best teams in that division, which is the Ravens and the Bengals. All right, man, so let's go. I guess we're obviously going to start with the Ravens. That was the AFC champions of that went to the AFC game last season. I mean, what can I say, man? I think they've gotten I think that they definitely upgraded. They got Derrick Henry, who is, I believe, still one of the best running backs in the league, besides, Christian McCaffrey and that other running back that I can't think off the top of my head right now. But this is, I mean, look, from what I know, right? Baltimore is obviously a more run offense than a passing offense, right? I do think that Lamar has definitely improved last season from throwing, which I definitely commend him for that. I think he's improved a lot. So I think what's going to happen is his rushing yards is probably going to decline, because when you got a guy like Derrick Henry, even though he's a lot older now, he's still I mean, at least to me, I still think he's still reliable to run the ball, right? So, you got Derrick Henry, Mark Andrews is coming back. You got Derek Lively, who, in my opinion, was the breakout star last season. Him or Zay Flowers. Be my guest on to which you decide who is your breakout star. But I think after Mark Andrews went out, Derek Likely, I think his name is, right? But yeah, I think he definitely stepped up after Mark Andrews' absence. I can definitely see both of them in the starting lineup. So, when you got both of those guys, you still got Zay Flowers, who's still young, but you can see the potential, and Rashard Bateman, or that other wide receiver that I can't think of off the top of my name right now. One thing I will say, though, I don't think Zay Flowers will get that 1,000-yard season because of the way how Baltimore, how the system is for the Ravens. So I think his stats are probably going to decline, not that much, but when you have a guy like when you have a top tight end like Mark Andrews coming back, I think your stats are pretty much going to decline just slightly. But I don't think that'll be an issue as long as they're winning. That's the main thing. I mean, I know that they lost their defensive head coach that went to the Seahawks. I can't think of his name right now. I think it's like McDonald or something like that. But I don't think that would be a problem. Maybe it would, because I know to me at least, they were the best defense in the NFL last season, and I think they were considered the best defense last season. So, yeah, I think I think that's not going to be a problem. I know that they lost other guys like Patrick Queen and Gus Edwards, stuff like guys like that. But I think this is a much better roster than last season. So I will say that the defense has lost a few pieces, but I think it wouldn't be a problem. They still got most of their main guys in Matabike and, of course, Roquan Smith, Kevin Hamilton. So I think they're going to be, in my opinion, the best team in the AFC North. Now, I do think the biggest question mark for me out of all these teams is the Cincinnati Bengals. And I say that mainly because of Joe Burrow or Joe Cole, however you guys can call him. He's one of the biggest question marks. And I say that because, I will say this, right? I mean, me personally, right? I do have Joe Burrow as the third or fourth best quarterback in the NFL, in general, right? My thing about is this: when I forgot what injury he had, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that I hope he doesn't. I hope whatever injury he has, it doesn't hold him back from reaching his potential. Because without Joe Burrow, I don't think the Bengals are going anywhere, right? And me personally, I think that the Bengals have one of the best wide receiver duos in the league in Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. I think after they lost Tyler Boyd, I think it still wouldn't be an issue to me, just because when you got two of your main important guys and when you lose a guy like Tyler Boyd, it will be a dramatic loss, but I don't think it would affect them that much nonetheless, right? And you also I believe they lost Joe Mixon as well. I don't know who their starting running back is, but yeah. The Bengals, their season just relies on how good Joe Burrow is, man. That's pretty much all I got to say. I mean, I would be surprised if somehow look, I will say this. I will be surprised if somehow, some way, Joe Burrow can, he can still be that that superstar quarterback that he was in 2022 and just 2022, because I think he got hurt the last season, and then that's it. That's right. Oh man, my brain is just scrambled right now. Sorry guys, but yeah, man, I think it just really relies on Joe Burrow and his health, man. I think everything else, the chips will just fall in line. That's pretty much all I got to say. Another question mark team that I'm also considering is, of course, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, they got Mike Tomlin is one of the best head coaches. You can argue a top 5 head coach in the league, and I won't disagree with you on that. So I think, whatever this team is structured, whoever is behind that team, whether it's Russ or Justin Fields, I want to assume that it's Russ. I don't think I think they'll be all right. They got a great defense. The offense is a little shaky. George Pickens he's good, right? But I think if they would have gotten somebody like Brandon Ayuk, they would have been a lot better, me personally, right? One thing I will say is, I am kind of like still kind of questioning if Russell is on his last. I'll say this: Russell is on his last legs, but I'm pretty surprised that whatever was going on, the fact that Mike Tomlin is still like considering on who is the starting quarterback going into the season, it is pretty concerning. I know if I was Russell, I would have, I would have been, maybe Russ is just holding himself back because of how much money he's getting from the Broncos and the Steelers. But, you know, the league's getting a whole lot younger. I'm All I gotta say is I'm surprised that Russell didn't just, knock the ball out of the park and just Mike Tomlin just say, hey, he's our number one guy behind Justin Fields, you know? And yeah, man, I think that is pretty concerning. I think, I think this is just everyone everyone was telling me how last season, or not last season, 2 seasons ago, this is the fall of Russell Wilson. I think this is like I think this is going to be the start where Russell's going to start declining, because, the fact that you're still, trying to beat Justin Fields in the starting quarterback position, it is pretty concerning. And after that, we pretty much got the Browns. The Browns are pretty much the same thing as the Steelers. I think they're a lot more complete team than the Steelers, and you can probably convince me maybe the Bengals, but yeah, it all just relies on Deshaun Watson, right? When you got one of the best defensive players in the league in Myles Garrett, that team is more complete, both offense and defense. But I don't know, man. I think everyone pretty much lost faith in Deshaun Watson, and I haven't given up yet. I think this will be my last season to have my high hopes for Deshaun Watson. If he gets injured or somehow just falls off completely, there is no coming back from this. I don't think there is. And this is really going to backfire in the Browns' face if Deshaun Watson somehow doesn't get things going this season. And that's just what I'm more concerned about, is this team has the potential to reach the AFC Championship game if Deshaun Watson was that 2018 quarterback that we saw in Houston, right? So yeah, I think if all this fails, it's over with. That's pretty much all I got to say. It's pretty much over with. There is no coming back to this, So yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say. I think out of all these teams, I think the Ravens have the best chance on making it back to the AFC Championship game. As long as they don't fold and they don't choke going into the season, they should be fine. I think out of all the pieces they lost, which is their defensive head coach, Mike McDonald, which I think that's his name, the defense should be all right for the most part. And yeah, out of all these teams, I just see the Ravens as the only team not just making it to the playoffs, but making it to the AFC Championship game. And hopefully we see a rematch with them and the Chiefs, man. I love this. I'm starting to like this little rivalry that the Ravens and Chiefs have going on. It's way better than the Chiefs and the Bills, man. I'm so sick of that. I'm so sick of the matchup. I don't know if you guys are, but I definitely am. But anyway, yeah, that's about it for the AFC North, man. And until next time, I'm out.